Good morning, everyone. It's Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up. It is Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on February 20th, 2024. So it is time for coffee and cards. If you're watching, please give me a shout out, a thumbs up. Let me know that you're here. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I had all kinds of technical difficulties with both my lives here on YouTube and my lives over on Facebook. But I am happy to say that I am back and it seems to be working. But I do need somebody to comment for me that you're here so that I can be sure that it's working. I wasn't able to see comments when I first came in, so I did a little bit of adjusting. So I'm hoping everything is working. Hey, Debbie, there you somebody. Hello, Miss Debbie. Yes, I am 2 days in a row. I know. Keep our fingers crossed, right? That was crazy. I've never been so stressed out over technology in my life. Good morning, Deborah. Good to see you. All right, so we are going to get started with a little housekeeping. I've got some cards from over a week ago. I think it maybe 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks ago now, right? Oh my goodness, that's so sad. The good news is I have a few built up, so we'll be able to, keep it going on a regular basis. But just a reminder, we're down to the last 9 days of celebration. So if you've not gotten everything either from the little book, right, or the additional products that they added in the beginning of February that you want for free, then now is the time to put those orders in. They added some really cool things. I love the Delightfully Eclectic paper. I love the new core color markers. Both of those are great deals. And you $50 order and you get the, of course, all of this is in the United States. You get the Delightfully Eclectic paper, which is a $30 purchase out of the annual catalog. And with a $100 purchase, you get the Stampin' Right markers. But I'm also loving these Sweet Thought Memories and More cards. So I might be picking up a pack or two of those to play with. And then there's embossing folders in there, a couple of stamp sets, and a punch. So check that out. If you haven't, you still have 9 days to put your order in. And of course, the best deal around is the starter kit. When you think, oh, I don't want to join Stamping Up, I don't want to be a demonstrator, that's okay. We have a lot of happy shoppers that sign up and get the discount, and you can do that too. I have lots of those folks on my team. I have long distance members and I have close members, so we can support you in any manner that you need. But that kit special right now with the glass mat, which is a $60 value for $99 plus tax, SU even picks up the shipping on the starter kit. Or if you're not interested in the glass mat and you don't understand why you'd need it, I am going to do a little bit with that before the end. I can't fix my glare, so we're going to have to deal with the glare from the lighting. But yeah, the glass mat is awesome and there's lots of fun things you can do with it. But then you can opt not to get that and just get $30 additional product. So make sure you're thinking about that as you're looking at your wish list and everything that you have. If you have over $100 on a wish list, it might be worth checking it out, right? And it's a no commitment, no risk, no commitment. Get your goodies, maybe place a second order at a discount, see where you're at in 3 months and make a good decision for yourself if you want to keep getting the discount or you really just wanted to get that glass mat. Okay, here is my Just Cards class for this month. And you can earn or purchase this class. To purchase it, it's $15 plus $4 postage if you're long distance. If you're local, you can come to the in-person class, which is going to be Tuesday. They're normally Wednesdays, but this one is Tuesday, March 12th at 3 p.m. Or you can do a porch pickup. You can also earn the class for free with a minimum $35 product order on my website using this month's host code, which is right there for you. I just noticed this one's upside down. So, but they're really quick, easy cards to put together, even in the class, even with, I think I had 8 or 9 people here last month. We were done like in an hour and a half at the most. So they don't take a long time. They're designed so that you're really adding greetings for the outside and the inside. If your order hits $50 or when your order hits $50 using that code, you're also going to get a free pack of embellishments, which are the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. So keep that in mind. But everything's embossed. Any die cutting is done for you. You're literally just putting them together with the PDF that is provided and stamping your greetings. So hello, Corinne. Thank you. Hi, Cindy. Good morning, Betty. Thank you guys for sharing. I appreciate that. So happy to be back. It was a stressful couple of weeks. All right. And then these were the beautiful cards that we did with my most favorite celebration product, and that is the Softly Sophisticated bundle that has the beautiful stamp set, yes, and then also the fun embossing folder. This one was a little bit of a fun fold. This was my last live, which was 2 weeks ago. Oh, I didn't put an inside in that one. I'll fix that. But anyway, the winner of these is Marlene Walter. So Marlene, I don't know if you're watching, but congratulations. Thank you for watching and commenting. And let me know when you want to pick them up, and I'll put them out in the box on my porch for you, since you're one of my local friends. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you guys for sharing. I appreciate that so much. I think that's all the housekeeping I have. This is our new time. Tuesday at 10 o'clock, we'll do coffee and cards. I used to do coffee and cards over on Facebook, but with the opening of my Cozy Craft Nest, which is kind of a crafter's retreat house, I'm usually in Gettysburg on Thursdays now. So we had to bump over here to YouTube, which I love too, and do coffee and cards at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning. So put that on your calendar so you don't miss any of the fun. We are playing with inspirational sketches today. This is a $25 stamp set. It is red rubber. So if you're a red rubber fan, this is for you. I fell in love with the set as soon as I saw it in the catalog, and I knew I had to have it. I love every one of these images. I haven't played with that one in all honesty yet, but that's going to make a really fun background. But we are going to create 3 great projects with this today, and I hope you love it as much as I do when I'm done. Sometimes it's nice just to have a stamp set to play with, right? That you don't need a lot of extra stuff. You can always add as much or as little as you want, but we're going to play with some blueberry bushel and lemon lolly this morning. Aren't those colors gorgeous together? Oh my goodness, I love them. I love them. I love them. So I did add a painted texture background. Okay. This is our gingham paper that's in the annual catalog. I'm going to show you a cool trick to do this. This is I just cut this. This is not a die or anything. I just cut it. And of course, that little border is the trick I'm going to show you. So first thing we're going to do is the painted texture embossing. And if you were watching me last night, yes, all of my embossing folders, dies, and embellishments did arrive. God love my husband. Oh, that man he is a blessing for sure. Okay, so we've got our embossed layer. It's just going to go on the card front, just a tone on tone layer. We have the gingham. So small check on one side, large check on the other. And to be honest with you, when I started designing the project, I was using the large check. And then I decided, maybe we'll go with the smaller check and add a little bit more white in there. What do you think? So we're just going to border this with 2 small strips of the blueberry bushel cardstock. Okay. Maybe we're going to do it with this one. That one's been giving me fits. I think I need to clean it. Make sure you clean your seals really well. Every time you change or add your refill, right? So many times I end up doing it online and then I forget to go back and really clean the nose. If there gets glue in here, if you're getting a lot, oh, I see it's red too. If you're getting a lot of stuck or it pulls it forward or it doubles up on itself, make sure you're cleaning out the nose. If you don't, it will absolutely grab the tape as it's coming through and cause you lots of issues that you don't want to have to deal with when you're making cards. Let me go ahead, since I see that that's red, and get that corrected. Oh, the painted texture one. I do like that one, but I got to tell you, the crosshatch on the basics, I know that's got to be mine. I use that so much. So this is what I tend to do. I come in here. I need to get a wipe and really clean this up. but make sure there's no glue balls. This one is in bad shape. On your applicator. Okay, just, oh my goodness, look right here. This is what happens. Can you see all that glue? I could use that as a glue dot. Good morning, Carol Deegan. Good to see you. Yeah, I love this set too. Do you have it, Betty? Do you have this set? All right. Then I did a deckled circle out. And I forget the name of those dies, darn it, but they're fabulous. And it's a set that I just bought the dies for. I don't even have a catalog next to me. What's going on in my world? I go away for 5 days and craziness ensues. See if I can find the name of that die set for you. I keep forgetting that there's such a delay from what I'm doing to what you're seeing on the screen. It's crazy. Okay, the die set is Everyday Details. So I cut a smaller circle out and it left behind that little accent around the edge. And then of course I used the deckled circle, the next size up, to create that opening. Do you? That's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna take a circle and I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper and we're going to stamp. I'm stamping in basic gray. I did not want the harshness of the memento on these images today. I didn't even put my labels on yet because I was fighting with technology for a week trying to get things to work. So we're just going to stamp this in basic gray. Make sure I've got it going in the correct direction. Apparently I do. All right, so we can always turn it too, because it is, of course, a circle. Anybody else have this set? All right, so let me grab my blend. We're going to go ahead and do a quick color on these. I'm going to use light lemon lolly and dark daffodil delight for the flowers, because in my head they're daisies. And I'm going to do my dark first in the hopes that I can save a little time. So anywhere the stamp designer has added the shading is where I'm putting the dark. If you like to color, this is a great set for you. And this is a closed bud, so I'm going to make that all dark because for some reason I think they're all dark when they're closed. Wouldn't necessarily be true depending upon how the light was hitting. But I love that the shadow marks, if you will, are already in the design. I'm trying to make sure I'm only doing the flower petals in the yellow. I think I am. And it's even in the center of the flower, right? So we're going to add some crumb cake, and one of the neutrals, I think, is what I used for that. Because, you know, I'm not always the most artistic, so having it all done for me is a win. But I just have to kind of find. Then we're going to come back in with the light lemon lolly. The reason I did it this way is I wanted to bleed out that darker color just a little bit. So by taking the light over, I can soften the lines of the dark daffodil delight. Uh-oh. Guess what's going on my next order? Do you hear that squeaking? if you have blends that you've had for a while. Now, some of the newer blends, I just had a customer come and I actually just had a set myself that I got. They squeak right away, but they seem to be fine. They seem to be juicy. So I'm not panicking on that yet. But I've had my lemon lollies pretty much since they came out and I use them hard. So I know that I'm probably due for another set. Yeah, I'm sure you can hear that. You just have to get through this card. Ooh. Let's see if I squeak on the other end quite as much. Oh, look at that. That is the other thing too. If you primarily use one tip and you're trying to get some coloring done before you get a new set of blends, flip it around because sometimes you've got enough color left in the opposite end. I'm a big bullet tip user, not so much a brush tip, just because I think I have more control. So here I'm just doing dark and light soft seafoam for the leaves. And again, wherever that shadowing is, I'm going to come in and add some green. And I'll do the darker on the stems too. Then come back over with the light to fill in my leaves. I think we got all the, oh, a little bit right here. There we go. And then the centers says I used dark crumb cake. And I just did the whole center with the light in this particular case. And here I'm going to come back in and add my dark. Just again, to add a little depth to the centers. There we go. Not too painful. All right, so we're going to go ahead and mount a few things here. So the only problem I worry about is doing a coloring set, full-on coloring set, right? Where we're coloring all the images together, because I feel like, oh my goodness, what is more boring? Maybe watching paint dry than watching someone sit and color. I'm going to go ahead and pop that down. The flowers themselves are going to go up on dimensionals. All right, and then we've got our tone on tone again. These are going to go up on dimensionals as well. And I'm actually using the greeting from Wild and Wonderful, or Wildlife Wonder, sorry, Wild and Wonderful, which is typically a masculine stamp set, right? But I love that sending birthday wishes. Sometimes it's more about the shape of the greeting. If I had found a thinking of you that was long like that, I would have probably used that. But trying to give myself some hope in being able to see that. Let's see if I lay it on there. Oh, that'll help. White on white. There's not enough light that gets into my eyes anymore for me to see that. I think I'm going to be glad I cut two, or at least flip it. Well, it wants to stay at the bottom. We're going to try one more time. Okay, we're going with this one. That was the best of the three that I had. Thanks, Corinne. Okay, so here's my trick. These are the Stampin' Right markers. This is the newer style, so it has that more of a bullet tip than the fine point. And here's what I do. I take it along the edge of the piece. The further I tilt it, like if I'm holding it at a 90-degree angle, I'm really just getting that edge. If I bring it in at a 45-degree angle, and whatever reason I'm shaking this morning, what's that about? I don't know. I didn't have enough coffee. I had too much coffee. Who knows? You can bring that line in just a little bit more on your piece. And you just run it. And run it. And run it. And then when you put it on your layer, it's going to stand out a little bit better. And I did the one that I did on the sample, I did a few times to try to get it a little bit darker. Maybe let's try it with the brush tip and see what happens. Because you could use the brush tip too. The brush tip is probably going to give you a wider line right away. But whichever one you're most comfortable with, you can use. And if you don't have the newer ones, it won't, this obviously doesn't work with the fine point. So you definitely would want to use your brush tip. Doesn't really hurt the marker. I'm not pushing the cardstock into it. I'm just kind of running it along the edge. But if you don't want to put a layer of cardstock, I tried putting a layer of cardstock behind it, even a thin layer, you know, thin border. I didn't really like that, but I knew I also didn't want to leave it 100% white. So this was the, and I've done this over the years at various points. That was my trick. So there we go. Just gives it a little edge. Wrong one. Yeah, both of mine really need cleaned. That'll be on my agenda, or maybe not. What's going on? There we go. And we will pop that as well. Let's put the lid back on the Tombow so we don't dry it up in there. Has anybody ever done that marker trick? And this is going to go right to the edge. We're going to mount this on our card front. Lots of tone on this one. And then grabbed the heartfelt hexagon stamp set for our inside greeting. Oh, that block is blue. What's that about? I hope your day is filled with joy. Yeah, it is neat, isn't it? Yep, you can use either tip. Well, again, with the newer blend or with the newer Stampin' Up marker, you can use either tip. With the old style, you'd have to use the brush tip for sure. It's just an extra way to give yourself a little more color when you don't want a full-on piece of cardstock, right? And then, yes, I said the embellishments were here, but I think they're over on my table because we were using them last night to substitute, weren't we? All right, so we're going to use the Tinsel 4 gem pack, and we're going to add some of those blueberry bushel gems. Just little accents. Put that in there. And since I'm so low, I'm going to actually use some bigger ones and tack my card to my card front. So there we go. There is the first one using the floral image from this fabulous Inspirational Sketches stamp set. Yes, you definitely would have more control with the marker. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Okay, moving on to our next one. We'll get some of this stuff out of the way. And we're using, so here is that designer paper that I was telling you about that you can get for free. It is the 48 sheet pack, 12 different patterns, 4 sheets of each, I believe, and of course they're all double-sided, so that makes it fun. That you can get for free with a minimum $50 product purchase from Sticker Celebration. And of course, if you do that, you're also going to earn the Just Cards class and my embellishments when you use my host code. But we're going to play with this one, and then on the inside, I just have a little greeting. Love the little bird. There are no dies, so guess we're going to fussy cut that guy. This is just a regular piece of 8.5 by 5.5. Turn into a gatefold. And we're going to mount our 2 layers of designer series paper. Throw that one off the table because I keep picking it up. Oh, I'm glad we're covering that. Where is the blue ink? On my finger. We'll just wipe it on my jeans. What do you think? It really is pretty. I do like that paper a lot. Actually, this is the same pattern that I used, I think, on the Just Cards project. See, no one will ever know I had blue ink on my fingers. Then I did die cut these. Are these not fabulous, guys? And they're nice and big. Like, we go to a bigger size. So this is Thoughtful Expressions bundle. This is in the mini catalog. This is the one with the pretty hummingbird in it. Has some very nice greetings. Enjoy your day. You're in my thoughts today. Sometimes there are no words, and where in the world would I be without you? Look at the dies. So of course you can cut out your 4 images. You've got a couple little accent images in here, right? And then this is the design that I used. But you also have these nice large, right down to this size, which is a decent small size, labels. I love this. Most people, I think, are buying it for the dies, especially if you're not a colorer. But the stamp set is really pretty too. But the dies are to die for. See how I did that? Okay. Welcome to Lori's Comedy Hour. No, not really. All right. And then my thinking of you comes from Botanical Layers, which I also think, isn't that one of the freebies you can get? It is. I really like this stamp set too. I use it a lot. Botanical Layers, free with a $50 product order until the end of the month. And you've got the great imagery as well as some nice greetings, including that cute little thinking of you. My inside greeting, hoping for better days ahead, is from Lasting Joy. And this is an underused, overlooked stamp set in the annual catalog. $20 for the stamp set, some cute little floral imagery, but tons and tons of greetings that are very useful. Yes, that set is beautiful. I fully agree with you. Okay, let me grab a scrap here. Let's see, is this going to work? My fingers are not working, guys. Again, I'm using basic gray. Again, I did not put my label on my stamp. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. It's been a long time since I didn't do that. Isn't he cute? I love him. And lots of colors, lots of blues, some bubble bath there. So we're going to start on his belly. Again, I'm going with the dark first, where those sketch lines are for us. Love that. And I don't know if you've been stamping as long as I have, or even just a few years back, but I think it might have even been during the pandemic, maybe. We had another one, etched, I think, etched sketches or something like that. And it just didn't meet our quality control when we produced it. So they pulled it, but they've gotten it right this time. The detail is amazing in these. It helps. Little pecan pie here for the branch. It helps define everything. All right, so we're going to do some balmy blue up here at the top. Actually, the more I look at that, I wrote balmy. Did I grab the dark? No, that's the light. Well, we're going to go with it. We might have a different color bird when we're done here. I think it might have been light boho blue. And my brain interpreted it as balmy, because this is definitely darker. But that's okay. We'll give it a whirl. We'll see what happens here. And here I am just using the light shade because the gray is taking care of the shading that we stamped the image in. So I don't really have to do any kind of shading here. Just going to make sure my color comes up into. Okay. Now we are going to darken up some of like his little legs. We're going to add some darker shading here. This is, I believe, light smoky slate and his little beak. Just to give him a little bit more definition around the eye. Okay. Makes his little eyeball stand out a little bit more. And then we're going to fussy cut him. So yeah, I think I definitely might have used boho on there instead of balmy, but balmy is working just fine as well. Fussy cutting is not my thing. And unfortunately, I cannot just hand it to my right. My mother sat to my right in club. And every time there was something they needed to fussy cut, I would hand it to her. She'd fussy cut while I kept continuing with the demonstration. She loved to fussy cut and I kept going. So it was a perfect arrangement. But all good things must come to an end, unfortunately. This is pretty easy to fussy cut, though, I have to say. If I'm going to fussy cut, I'll go with something like that. Okay, so there's our little bird. He's going to go on the right side, not upside down, however. And we're going to go ahead and stamp our thinking of you. In Misty Moonlight. I was looking at it because I couldn't decide if it was Misty Moonlight or Basic Gray. But I'm pretty sure it's Misty Moonlight. Might even be Night of Navy, but we're going with Misty today. Put that right there. And then while I have the ink open, I'm going to grab there is grab the inside greeting as well. So this is a little bit of a fun fold for us. Gate folds are another one of those that are very easy. Don't require a lot of thinking to create, but your recipient is kind of wowed by it. We'll go ahead and mount this to our bubble bath layer. I am getting ink all over me, but I'll fix that with the blend or with the bobble. Now we are only mounting this to the left side, right? Because we don't want to seal our card closed. So be real careful when you're adding your adhesive that you're only adding it to the left side. I don't know what that is. That's not. Let's see if my eraser will do anything. Sure will. I don't know what that was. Okay, so there's that. We're going to pop our bird on there. He's such a cute little bird. I have my little container here. Do I remember to use it? No. Took me a long time to remember to use the embossing buddy. So hopefully there's hope for me. And we're going to pop him right there. And then I'm going to use the rainbow dot. These are my favorite new embellishment. Out of the mini catalog. These are with the hot air balloon suite of products. And we're going to use one of the large blue ones, small pink bubble bath, and a large bubble bath to accent our imagery. So there is our second project using the bird. This one's a little bit darker. This one's a little bit lighter. This might have been pool party too, now that I look at it. I think either one is cute. What do you think? Which is your favorite, pool party or balmy blue? I don't know what they call it. I was given it at a retreat that I went to, but you can put your little backings off of your dimensionals. I'm sure they got it on Amazon. Let me tell you about this really cool thing. Take a break here for a second. So we have a new store in the area and it's become kind of an addiction. I took my husband for the first time and now it's his addiction too. I found silicone like this grease trap. So you can pour your grease. There's a little strainer that you put on the top. It's a silicone container. It has a bottom on it, not like this is open. You put the strainer on it, you pour your grease down into there. You can discard any hard bits or whatever that land in the strainer. Then there's a cap that you put on it and you sit it in your refrigerator for X period of time till it hardens. And then you take it out and the bottom literally pulls off and you can push the solidified grease out into your trash can. I've never seen such a thing. I had to buy two. I bought one for here and one down at the retreat house. Have you guys seen that? It is the coolest thing. And we tried it. You literally just immediately, you can pour the grease in there because it's silicone. It doesn't, melt the material or anything. It is so cool. So I'm hoping it keeps grease out of my garbage disposal. I know it will here. I'm hoping that it will down at the retreat house. I did put the directions beside it in the hopes that, it'll do me some good down there. Have you seen that anywhere? You like the pool party? Yeah, I do like the pool party, but I like the balmy blue too. So sometimes if I don't write stuff down as I do it, and I am very bad at that, unfortunately, you'll never know how many hours, or not hours, but how many minutes I spent looking, oh, what stamp set was that thinking of you from before I go live. All right, one more for you. I think this one makes kind of a great masculine card. Again, I'm using that Wildlife Wonder for my greeting. I'm using the deckled rectangle dies for the imagery. And the Baker's Twine Essential Pack is where I got the Baker's Twine, obviously. And I'm also using, I'm using the Glorious Gingham 6x6 designer series paper. This is in the annual catalog. It has Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, Lemon Lime Twist, Pecan Pie, and Pretty Peacock. Several sheets of each. I think it's 8 sheets of each, maybe, because it's a 48 sheet pack. But there's the Pretty Peacock, it's the small check, the large, Lemon Lime, Berry Burst, and what was that Shaded Spruce? No, what was that? Another one. I've pretty much used up the pecan pie in this. All right, so pool party. What store? I don't know what it's called. It's out where, Cindy, you're familiar with the area that I live in. It's on the Carlisle Pike, out where AC Moore used to be. Ocean Job Lot, something like Ocean State Job Lot, something like that. Okay, so pumpkin pie. There's a color we barely, well, at least I barely use it outside of the fall. How about you guys? And then a layer of pecan pie. You know what this is? If I flip it over, I bet you will. It's the Garden Meadow paper. I know it's kind of a shame to cover up that beautiful pattern because that is gorgeous, but I love that for really nice, neutral, earthy tone background, right? So bear with me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Anybody see my cape? There it is. It's hiding behind the box. Okay. Yeah, I love that pattern too. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of that pecan pie. So I'm marrying to my cardstock layer that's back there. Just leave a little bit on the left side and it goes edge to edge with the designer series paper behind it. Okay. Then I've already done, well, for one reason or not, I did the pecan pie deckled, but I didn't cut the other one. So let's cut that quick. Let's see. Nope, too small. I was going to go for that one in the first place. I should have. I do use my Jekyll Brand candles hard. As a matter of fact, they were packed here because I thought I was going to be live last Sunday or last Tuesday. And so I left the kits here when I went to Gettysburg. And boy, I was running around looking for Jekyll rectangles. I swore I bought them for down there, but I didn't. So I was missing them. All right, so we're going to die cut this quick. And we're going to stamp our mushrooms on here in pecan pie. So I do know that when we first introduced blends, we said, oh, you can only use them with Memento. Now, I will say you can only use Memento Black if you're using black. Do not use StazOn. StazOn is a solvent-based ink, and it will bleed if you run an alcohol marker over it. Okay, so you want to use the opposite. Memento is a water-based ink. It is opposite of the alcohol. So that's what you want to use for blends. But we also said, oh, you can't really use them with the other colors, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I'm going to say to that. Test it, try it. A lot of them you can, and you don't hurt anything. So we're just making this one easy. We're using what we stamped the image in for our shading. And we are running crumb cake over it. We didn't really have a gray that could give me the white button mushrooms. They're not really white. They're a little gray. So I'm like, okay, we're going for portobello here. And then it would be even a little darker, I think. But and here's another one that's squeaking. I need to take note of this before I put these away. But this is a quick color because we literally are letting the ink that we stamped our imagery in provide the shading. Easy peasy. And I'm trying to figure out what, I think that's the stem from the above mushroom. So we're going to color it. A random line running there. I don't know. Okay. So there we go. That one is colored. How nice, right? That didn't take long at all. Before we mount that, I did tie my bow. We're going to grab our twine. Make sure I'm grabbing the right color because sometimes I can't tell the difference. Add our adhesive on the back. Tack it down and run it around. Ooh, stay where I put you. Come down, come down. There we go. And then one in the middle. And then we'll just tack it back down on the back and trim it off. That was a little closer than I wanted to trim, but I think we'll be okay. I always run my adhesive over it. You can also use Scotch tape to hold it down, or even tear and tape. Temporary adhesive like I use for my dies when I'm die cutting. Grab a glue dot. Pop our bow on there. You would think by now Lori would know where the glue dots are. Not so much. And then pop that right on there. Yeah, I didn't think that glue dot came with it. Now it did. Bring my tails down. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this on our card. Right about there. A note of thanks. We're going to stamp that in the same pecan pie. I caught an edge. There we go. And mount that to a layering circle of pumpkin pie. We'll go ahead and mount to the card front. And then I don't know why I keep putting the dimensionals somewhere else. I just keep pulling them back out. Grab a couple of the bones here. Thanks, Corinne. Okay. And then, well, I specifically pulled them out last night, but they're not here. These are the brushed metallic dots in copper that I added to the card. And then this is the stamp from, sorry, from Inspirational Sketches. I need to stamp it because I didn't label it. Oh, look, I had it in the right direction. It's a really pretty scripty font, but it's hard to read until you stamp it. Okay. Didn't like that. Let's try that again. Much better. And then because when you cut your designer series paper, you have this strip left over, right? We're just going to add that as an accent on the inside of the card because I don't really want little strips of paper left over if I don't have a purpose for them right off the top of my head. Now, I'm sure I could have done a scrap busting card with that, but sometimes it's nice to decorate the inside of your cards as well. And of course, you can always use a coordinating designer series paper to decorate the flap of your envelopes too. All right, so here we go. Here is the mushrooms, the bird. That's the pool party one. That's the one we liked better, right? And then here is the daisies. Which one's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? Oh, thanks, Betty. I love them too. I had so much fun playing with them. I'm sure it won't be the last time I play with them. It's always fun to color, and especially when they do so much of the work for you by putting that shading in there. You love the bird card? Yeah, he is cute. He is cute. I like the floral background behind him. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in this morning. Remember, Tuesdays at 10, coffee and cards right here on my page, on my YouTube channel. Please be sure to give me a thumbs up, share the video, leave a comment. All of those things get you entered into the drawing to win these beautiful cards that we just created together the next time we're here. Hi, Nancy. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Cindy. And that will be next Tuesday. But don't forget, I also do lives on my Facebook page, and those are Sunday night at 8. So I would love to have you join us over there as well. Until I see you the next time, be safe. Thanks so much for your support, and I will catch you soon. Bye, guys.